following is a Jackass Nation production. Subscribe to us on Podbean at jackassnation.podbean.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following show is supported by Amazon.com. Use the link in the description below so you can help support this and all other shows on the Jackass Nation.
Welcome to Nerd Interference, hosted by Coach Matt and the Jackass BC. Powered by Sillinks.com, SCNS Live, the Jackass Nation, and the Offshoots Network. Nerd Interference is interfering with everything you thought you knew about nerds. And now, your host, the Coach.
All right, welcome to Nerd Interference. I am your host, the Coach, Matt. And normally, I would introduce my partner, BC, but I'm running solo today because BC is on vacation. So have a great vacation. We will see you in 2 weeks, BC. Or actually, we will see you next week for our tournament that will be on SCNS Live. But I'll get more into that later. So joining me today, we're actually lucky enough to be able to present this and record this from Rob's new studio. So our producer Rob is here. He is handling everything. That's lucky for me, because otherwise I would be in the Fortress of Sportitude doing this all by myself with a dog that would be running around, jumping and being like, "I want to be on the let me be on the mic, please. Can I have some ham?" That would be cocktail.
With cats trying to kill her.
Oh, yes, absolutely. They're always plotting something. Like this morning, I had Cocktail on me. Alex came out, my wife, and Cocktail jumped off the couch and ran over to Alex. Well, one of the cats decided, well, now that Cocktail's off, I can now be on him as a bed. So one of my cats, Shadow, jumped on me and was all just loving on me and everything like that. Well, now Cocktail comes back over, and she's looking all jealous, staring at the cat like, "Get off. That's mine." So, yeah, it's always something happening at the house, at the this Fortress of Sportitude.
Now, I want to ask, does this audience know about you finding animals all over the street?
No, nobody knows this. It's a common misconception that I am just Captain Stray. No, if anything, what I do is, if I see an ailing animal on the street, I don't just take it home with me. I will find a way to make sure that it just finds a better home, or it will find its way to a vet to get medical attention. It's only the one time that I was driving on your road that I saw a tiny kitten bleeding from its nose. And I was panting. It was just in the heat of the sun, and I had to get it. I picked him up, brought him to the vet, missed a show that I was going to do with you, and the vet was like, "Oh, he's fine. Are you going to take him home?" And sure enough, I took him home, and now I have little Yoshi. So I have 3 cats and 1 dog, and it's all because I am somewhat Captain Stray. I am not completely Captain Stray. I am just...
It's because you're a good human being.
That's it.
That's what it is.
That's it.
All right.
So let's get into the biggest sports stories of the week, things that we wanted to talk about. And usually we would start off with wrestling, but we'll get to that in a little bit because I know it's a big wrestling weekend with NXT TakeOver Chicago and Backlash happening. But one bigger story that's going on right now is the NBA playoffs. And it's not so much that the NBA playoffs are going on, but that the NBA playoffs themselves have been just a snooze fest. It's sad when you can say that the 2016 NFL playoffs, or I guess the 2017 NFL playoffs, are better than this NBA playoffs. It's just been sad because at the end result is we all know that it's going to be the Warriors versus the Cavaliers. The Warriors haven't lost a game. The Cavaliers haven't lost a game. So we're all just sitting around waiting for the finals to happen and being subjected to just awful basketball. You've got the Cleveland Cavaliers going up against the Boston Celtics right now. And it's like watching a varsity team not play a JV team. Not saying that. All respect to the JV teams. It's like watching a varsity team play a bunch of kindergartners just learning the game.
Wow.
It's atrocious. I'm watching game 2 of this series. And before half, the Cleveland Cavaliers are up 70-29. 29. That's right, folks. A 41-point deficit in the first half. That's bad basketball right there. And you can tell me that it's because Isaiah Thomas is injured. You can say whatever you want to say. But at the end of the day, it doesn't come down to one man unless you're LeBron James. Because LeBron James has been playing out of his mind in these playoffs. He is better than he was last year. He looks like he's a young stud, a young buck. Not like it's his like 14th year or anything in the league. He looks like this is his 5th year in the league, and he's on his prime, and he's just delegating everything. He's driving the ball up through the paint to get it into the basket. He's just murdering the Boston Celtics right now, and it's just sad to watch. I'm watching it last night thinking that King Arthur was better to watch. And I'm not talking about the new Guy Ritchie King Arthur. I'm talking about the Clive Owen, Keira Knightley King Arthur. The one that was like, it's Roman times. It's not actually King Arthur.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was still good. I liked it.
It was terrible. You have terrible choice in movies.
I like bad movies, but you know.
So the NBA playoffs, you know, I'm watching the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it reminds me of when I play Madden.
Yeah.
And you get into these leagues and you have these friends of yours that you play with, and there's always that one team that's like, they already have a really good team, but they just want to be that douche and get even better and trade for all these players and make the ultimate god team. That is what the Cleveland Cavaliers are. They went out, they traded for Kyle Korver, and they picked up Darren Williams, and it's just, ever since they made all these key additions within the game, within the season, it's just been ridiculous. They've been nonstop, and they've been better than they were in these playoffs than they were last year. So eventually we're going to get to the NBA Finals, and it's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers playing the Golden State Warriors if by some miracle the San Antonio Spurs don't come back, which they won't because Kawhi Leonard is injured, and that was their only chance to ever do anything. So it's going to eventually happen like that. And honestly, for the rest of the playoffs, I'm just going to take a note from Green Day's book. Just wake me up when the conference finals end. Okay? I'm done. I don't care about these conference finals. I wanted to see some sort of shakeup. At least the Celtics versus the Wizards were more interesting. I was so upset about the Spurs versus the Rockets because the Rockets just gave up for no reason. They played the B team of the Spurs and lost. How do you do that? Pretty much the Spurs benched all their players, and the Rockets had everybody going, and they still lost. It's ridiculous. So, regardless, the NBA playoffs are going on. It's a snooze fest. Just pay attention when it gets to the end and the finals, because the finals are actually going to be where the money is made. But as far as what really is interesting in the NBA, the only real thing that's interesting is what's going to happen with Lonzo Ball. Is he going to go to the Lakers? And is that going to be the thing that shuts up LeVar Ball? Because if that's the case, I don't want Lonzo Ball to go to the Lakers, because I want more LeVar Ball. I want Lonzo Ball on the Celtics and LeVar Ball on the sidelines every single week, complaining and moaning about what the Celtics do, because that would be just hilarious and amazing to watch. But it also will be good to see Lonzo Ball in the Lakers, because the fact remains, the Lakers need to be great again. You had Donald Trump coming over talking about how America needs to be great again. No. The Lakers need to be great again, because the NBA is not a league if the Lakers are not good. Just think about it. You had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Then you had Magic Johnson. Then you had Kobe for so many years, lifting up all of these this entire franchise. And now what do you have? You don't have anything. You have D'Angelo Russell. Okay, great, good for you. So you get Lonzo Ball in there. Oh man, that's gonna make the Lakers a lot better. And just one thing that I would like to see the NBA do, I would like the NBA to just go ahead and give every draft pick to the East. Because the West doesn't need it. The West is fine. They're flush with talent. They need to bring competition to the East for someone to dethrone LeBron James. Okay, no doubt. Whatever you want to say, it doesn't matter if you like him, hate him, it doesn't matter. He is one of the greatest NBA players of all time. But the man has not had competition in the East. He's stayed his entire career in the East. And I just want to see the East flush with talent. Just get so many young guys that will come in and give us an NBA Finals that doesn't have LeBron James. I just want to see something new.
Okay, well, now you know that I really don't watch basketball at all. Don't really care about it that much. I mean, I will root for teams from New York. So what about like the Knicks or the Nets? Would those teams benefit from that?
Absolutely, they would benefit. And I mean, the thing about the NBA draft, it's not like the NFL draft, where the NFL draft, you always have talented guys. You can find them in like the next few rounds. The NBA draft falls in between the NFL draft and the MLB draft, where the MLB draft just doesn't even matter. The NBA draft this year, the top 9 guys are just going to be amazing. They're going to be really good franchise players for years to come. Mm-hmm. After that, that's when it gets a little weird, and these guys might not make immediate impacts, but at least just try. I just want to see more talent go to the Nets, go to the Knicks. The Knicks have needed it for years, but as long as Phil Jackson's there, I don't know if that's even going to happen. And also Carmelo, too. I mean, can we do a free Carmelo? Hashtag free Carmelo? I know we're doing free Brady. Can we do free Carmelo? Free Melo? That'd be nice. I would love to see Melo go somewhere else and do better. Not the Cavaliers. For God's sakes, do not bring him to the Cavaliers. Make him a Celtic. I don't care. Just put him somewhere else in the East. That's what matters. You know what would have been a good series to watch would have been the Heat versus the Cavaliers. I think that would have been a pretty good one. Or at least maybe the Bulls, but yeah. All right. So that's the NBA talk. It's all right. It's just it's not worth watching the NBA playoffs. I mean, if you can watch something else, watch that until the finals begin, and then we'll see where Lonzo Ball goes later on in the draft. Now, before we pivot over to wrestling, because like I said before, it's a really big wrestling weekend, I wanted to advise you guys to go and listen to BC's show, Go Home. In that show, he goes into every single match for wrestling for the pay-per-views happening this weekend, and it's really good. So after you listen to Nerd Interference, go onto the Jackass Nation Podbean channel or go onto the Offshoots Network and listen to Go Home, BC's podcast about wrestling. Or also, if you just want to listen to BC's beautiful voice, you can listen to It Is What It Is. He's talking about Alien Covenant and how hyped he's getting, and Injustice 2. Now, you won't hear him talk about our upcoming tournament because that was not announced until late in this week. But like I said, we will get into that more. Tonight, NXT TakeOver is in Chicago. And we've got a whole mess of matchups that look pretty darn good, except for one. And that one that I want to start with is the NXT Women's Championship match. This match would have been so much better if Ember Moon was in it. But unfortunately, she got injured. I haven't done any of the research to find out if it was kayfabe or if it's real. I don't know. But instead, it's going to be Asuka versus Ruby Riott versus Sanity's crazed woman that I can't remember right now. I'll get Nikki Cross. And it's going to be a triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. And to be honest, we all know what's going to happen. Asuka's going to win because all she said this entire time was, no one's ready for Asuka. So, what? You're just going to throw in a newbie in Ruby Riott who hasn't really done much? She just showed up out of the blue right before NXT TakeOver Orlando and took on Sanity and lost. And you're going to get Nikki Cross. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Nikki Cross. I think Nikki Cross is going to be great. But that's going to be after Asuka leaves. So I would like to see later a feud between Nikki Cross and Ember Moon. But Ember Moon was the clear contender in this matchup. And she's gone. She's not even in there. And it's just going to be kind of a throwaway match. That's, in my estimation, it's going to be a throwaway match.
Well, I'm not really watching NXT, so, I mean, I know the names, at least Asuka and Ruby Riott, because that was the one that BC was comparing to Ruby Rose or some shit like that.
Yeah, that was really weird.
I looked at it, I was like, no.
We did a side-to-side to try and, like, let him understand that was nothing the same.
He was like, but she has tattoos. No.
Yeah, okay. So, the next girl that has a sleeve or a shoulder tattoo, suddenly she's Ruby Rose. She's got a short haircut. It's Ruby Rose, everybody.
I mean, like I said, I don't watch it, but I have seen matches where Asuka has fought, and I saw one with Ruby Riott, and Ruby Riott needs work.
Yeah.
So
I like her finisher, but she needs a lot of work.
Yeah, and the other chick, Nikki Cross, I do not know her at all. I haven't seen anything with her, so
tonight, watch her. She's gonna be fun for you to watch. She's just crazy in the ring, and that's her shtick. She's crazy. She'll bite the ropes. She'll like yell at people. She'll pull hair. All of it. It's fun.
Oh wait, so she's like a female version of George Animal Steel.
Yes,
from way
essentially. Except George was trying to be animalistic. She's just
nuts.
Whacked.
Okay, all right.
Whacked in the head. Then we're going to have another UK Championship match, and it's going to be a rematch from the UK tournament that happened on the WWE Network a few months ago. Tyler Bate goes up against Pete Dunne, and I think this is going to be a fun one. Tyler Bate's been defending his championship against any Brit he can on NXT and on other different shows, but I personally believe that Pete Dunne's going to take it from him this time, and I think Pete Dunne's going to go into the UK special that they're going to be having, and I think he's going to be the champion. I just think that they need to now start building Tyler Bate as a contender so that way people get more excited about him whenever he actually becomes champion again. Then the NXT Tag Team titles are going to be defended in a ladder match where you're going to have the Authors of Pain going up against DIY. I just don't see Authors of Pain losing it in this time. I mean, I like DIY, don't get me wrong, but I have a feeling that NXT is pushing Authors of Pain against, what's that one? Heavy Machinery. That's that new tag team that they're working on right now. It's just a whole bunch of beef in a ring. Oh. All right, it's just big boys squashing people. Okay. That's what Heavy Machinery is. So you're just going to get like a mess of humanity. And if you think that Braun Strowman versus Big Show breaking the ring was going to be crazy, I have no doubt that Full Sail University or even just whatever stadium that they're in for the next NXT TakeOver is just going to fall in shambles and crumble and destroy everybody once these four get in the ring. That's what I think is going to happen. And then, you know what I'm a little disappointed about is that Drew McIntyre doesn't have a match, and he's good. That dude he's a boss. Okay, I know you don't watch NXT, but watch Drew McIntyre. And you're gonna come back thinking, my God, this guy is a warrior. Just he's got every look of just a domineering warrior. And I've followed his career for years, back whenever he was the chosen one in WWE, and all he really did was win an NXT win the Intercontinental Championship, to when he went to Impact Wrestling, which they really underutilized him at Impact. And I know he got injured and he came back and it just became a mess from there. Luckily, he left there and came back to NXT. And since being at NXT, he's just been a monster. So he's definitely one you need to keep an eye on. But the main event will be Hideo Itami versus Bobby Roode, the glorious NXT champion, Bobby Roode. And this one should be a fun one. I think it's going to be a good one to watch because, everybody knows Hideo Itami if you've been watching NXT for a while. And even if you watch any wrestling in Japan, you know who Hideo Itami is. He's a fun guy to watch. I think this is going to be a good one. It's going to be high-powered offense meets... It was a little bit of submission, but I think it's going to be a great one. But I think Bobby Roode's going to end up winning it. Mainly because I think they're pushing for Bobby Roode versus Drew McIntyre later on. So it should be a fun one. I think that NXT TakeOver Chicago, despite the women's championship match, is actually going to be better than tomorrow night's Backlash. Because let me go.
Really?
Yes. Let me go through the matchups that are happening on the SmackDown brand for Backlash. I'll just go through a couple of them. First of all, there is not a women's championship match at Backlash. Yeah, I know. I see your face right now, Rob. You're really surprised. Instead, it's going to be Naomi, Charlotte, and Becky going up against the welcoming committee of Natalya, Carmella, and I can't remember her name right now, but Jimmy Fly's daughter, Tamina, in a 6-woman tag match.
Yeah, that's just a grudge match.
It's a grudge match. Why not do that? I just think that any of those angles need to be done away from a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Because you're just delaying the inevitable.
TV.
Yes, you could have done that on Tuesday nights, but instead you waited for the pay-per-view. I don't know if you're just trying to give every woman a paycheck, make them all relevant, what have you, but it's a little ridiculous. And you're doing a disservice to the public that's watching this, hoping to see every championship defended. And instead, you're not going to see every championship defended. Instead, you're just going to see a 6-woman tag match that will, I would like to say open, but more likely than not, they won't open the show with it. It'll be probably something that's right before the main event. So that's going on there. You've got Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler in his debut match. Obviously, Shinsuke is going to win that one. Then you've got the tag team division title match. Breezango going against the Usos. And look, okay, I know that they're trying to push Breezango because Tyler Breeze and Fandango are they're good workers. And they haven't really been given a shot. Well, now they're being given a shot. You had the Fashion Files, which was a Law and Order spoof, which were kind of funny. They were a little amusing. I like the idea that they're getting their shot, but I just don't feel like there has been enough between Breezango and the Usos to really fuel this match. Yeah. And this whole tag division has been a farce. They haven't really done much with it, and I was hoping that with the Superstar Shakeup, they would be able to infuse a lot more energy and a lot more into this division, and I just don't think it's going to happen until the New Day arrives, whenever it is that the New Day arrives. I believe it's going to be next week. I don't know if they were waiting until after the pay-per-view to really debut them, because a lot of the Superstar Shakeup guys that we haven't seen have been rumored to be coming next week. So I think they're trying to close the chapter on a few of them and then eventually get to it. Then I think one of the better match is going to be AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens, because AJ Styles is just incredible and Kevin Owens is amazing to watch in the ring. I think Kevin Owens keeps his title because I don't see AJ. AJ getting the United States Championship seems like a waste. So I think Kevin Owens retains. I do think that the Usos retain as well their tag team titles. I didn't say that before. And then you've got the WWE Championship match where it's going to be Randy Orton defending against Jinder Mahal, or AKA the Maharaja. Alongside him will be the Singh brothers. This one will be all right. I've actually been very impressed by Jinder Mahal. Have you been watching SmackDown?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. This guy was a mid-card nobody. Not even a mid-card nobody. He was just a nobody. He comes to SmackDown and he gets that boost. He gets noticed. And now suddenly he's in this title contention. I totally can see him winning this match and becoming the WWE champion.
Well, I kind of really just got back into wrestling again because I used to watch it way back when. When I was watching wrestling, Stone Cold Steve Austin was there.
Sure.
He was wrestling at the time. So, but after he kind of left and The Rock started disappearing a little bit, I stopped watching. Came back in, and I see this Jinder Mahal guy. And it's just some side match, I think it was. And I'm just sitting there like, who the hell is this guy? He's acting all big and everything, but who the hell is he? And then you got these Singh brothers coming in, and now Jinder Mahal is a force. And I'm like, holy shit. And, it came out of nowhere.
That dude's jacked, too. That dude is jacked.
Yes, he is.
So, I don't know what you're doing. I'm going to try and look up whatever your workout plan is and maybe try and mimic it. Right now, full discretion, I'm on the AJ Styles workout plan.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I feel phenomenal. All right, so guys, tell us what you think is going to happen tonight and tomorrow when the big WWE pay-per-view weekend gets afoot. You can tweet us at NI Sportscast or by commenting on the Podbean, on the Jackass Nation Podbean channel. Now, before I get to my next couple of topics, there is one thing that I don't ever get into with BC, and that's mainly because he doesn't watch it, he doesn't care about it, because, let's be honest, most Americans don't care about it, and that is soccer. I know, the glazed look on Rob's face is going on right now. The big reason why I'm bringing up soccer right now is because tomorrow, or is actually really today and tomorrow, is English Premier League Championship weekend. Now, usually, this would be like the playoffs for the English Premier League. But they don't do playoffs in English Premier League. Instead, they track your goals and your wins for if you win the championship. Now, Chelsea just dominated the league this year, and they ended up taking it all. And now they are the champions. They're already champions going into championship weekend. So really the only impact of championship weekend will be who is going to be the number 3 and the number 4 ranked team. And the reason why is because they whether it's Manchester City or it's Liverpool, one of those teams wants to get into the Champions League. They want to have that status of being in the top 3 of the league. The other story is who's going to get relegated. That's all this weekend is about. My main problem with it is it seems like a waste. If I were the English Premier League, why not just still do it the way you're doing it? Still track it by goals, wins, do whatever you want to do. That's fine. But why not have the top 4? Let's just stick with the top 4. How about that? Why not have the top 4 make it into a tournament? And that tournament isn't like the Champions League or anything like that, but the tournament is within the English Premier League. So now you've got a number 1 seed going up against number 4, a number 2 going up against number 3. So essentially, this weekend, or perhaps if you still want to do this weekend to be maybe relegation weekend instead of championship weekend, and then have the following next weekend be the English Premier League Championship weekend, that would be better. And so now you have maybe Chelsea going up against Liverpool, and you have Tottenham going against Manchester City, which my team, I'll be real honest, Manchester City, that's who I root for. And then you have that tournament until you get to your actual champion. Because essentially, you just awarded a championship trophy to a team that just got the most goals. And I mean, granted, yes, it's all based on talent. It's what you did. It's scheme. It's coaching. It's what have you. But it just seems like you could do it better, EPL. And I love the EPL. I love English Premier League. I love waking up in the morning and watching it. It's amazing. I mean, heck, at one point I watched it and I thought to myself, man, I need to move to England. I need to move to the UK so that way I can watch more of this, or at least go to a game. I love love English Premier League soccer. I mean, dude, anytime I can watch soccer, I will. So that's just my main soapbox there for a moment. I just want to see more of a tournament. You understand? Like a tournament to find out the champion.
Yeah, I understand. I get you.
Yeah.
I don't care about soccer.
I know you don't care. I know you don't care. That's fine. I'm not trying to make a believer out of you. I'm just trying to help the EPL. And I know a lot of soccer fans are probably not going to like what I just said. Maybe the more traditionalist ones are going to say, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But I just feel like it would be better if they did it that way. Because now we have to wait. And that's my main problem with soccer is that you have to wait. You know, you have to wait for the Champions League. You have to wait for the FIFA Cup. You have to wait, or the World Cup, you know? So I just want to see more tournaments. I love tournaments. And speaking of tournaments, next Thursday,
Segway.
SCNS and Cinelinx will be hosting the first ever SCNS Injustice 2 tournament. Normally on Thursday night, you would be sitting there cozying up with your family and getting on the couch and streaming to your smart TV or just on your phone on youtube.com/SCNS Live or on Cinelinx.com to watch the live SCNS show. Watching the nerds talk about the biggest news and nerd entertainment and all that. But this week, it's going to be a lot different. This upcoming Thursday, we will have a single elimination tournament to find out who is the Cinelinx SCNS Injustice 2 champion.
So wait, it's just one match, you're done?
No. It's not just one match. So what happens is, the first matchup, mind you, is going to be number 1 seed Jason the X going up against number 8, my producer, Rob the Rob.
This sucks.
And in this matchup, you are going to have, it's going to be a best of 3 matches.
Uh-huh.
So, and you can't use the same character twice.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, let's say it's you as Aquaman going up against Green Arrow. Jason's using Green Arrow. I mean, hypothetical. I don't know if you'd actually pick that. If Jason wins with Green Arrow and say he dominates you, he can't use Green Arrow again. So now you can use, say, Wonder Woman, and maybe he uses like Batman, even though he'd never use Batman because he thinks he's overrated. And say maybe now you have a chance to beat him in the second round. And then we'll go to a third. And then the winner of that one goes on to the second round. So that's how it's going to work. But single elimination will be, it's just, you're going up against one guy. Yeah. You lose, you're out. And you're relegated to the Phantom Zone.
The odd thing is that Thursday during the show, Jason said his 2 favorite characters are Aquaman and Batman.
Really? Yes. That's amazing. Okay. Good for me. I'm freaking Nostradamus over here. So that's how it's going to work. The matchups in round 1, I can tell you right now. I can't tell you what the round 2 is going to be like. But round 1, like I've already mentioned, Jason the X versus Rob the Rob. Then it's going to be yours truly, a number 5 seed. Don't know how I got there. Going up against a number 4 seed, Cassandra. Now, we don't know anything about her, but it's one of Ricardo's friends. Mm-hmm. And if anything, Ricardo has said that she is not bad. So I will probably be at the commentary desk for the rest of the time. We'll see. I don't know. You've called me the prodigy before, so I might be able to pull this off.
It might be. I don't know.
Then you've got Ricardo, number 2 seed, going up against the number 7 seed, and Cora. Cora's beaten you before.
Yeah, I have the Injustice game, got it on PlayStation Plus. It's a free game. And I played every now and then. I'm not that big into fighting games anymore. Way back in the day, yes. Now, not so much. She came over and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to mop the floor with this girl. And we had a bunch of matches, probably about 15 to 20 matches. She won the bulk of them.
Wow.
And we're both button mashers. We'd have no real technique. We're just button mashing. But she's the champion button masher, I guess.
So what do you think the odds are of an upset?
See, I don't know Ricardo's fighting style.
Mm-hmm. I can almost guarantee you one of them will be Batman.
Yeah, Cora could come from behind and just win and just beat
Sure.
him. And it could be like, what the hell? Because I said the same thing.
Sure.
But I think Ricardo plays fighting games a lot, so he may have the edge. She's the underdog in this fight, so I'm gonna go with Ricardo on this one.
All right. Well, the final match will be round one will be a number 3 seed, the Jackass, my partner BC, who has released a smack talking video talking about how none of us are even going to light a candle to him, against the Professor, Chris K. Now, I know BC has the game. And he's been playing it a lot, and he really enjoys it. But there's something about Chris. Chris is sneaky. He's going to be that wild card, I think. I don't know if he's going to beat BC, but I think he's going to give BC a run for his money.
I don't at all.
You don't?
Nope.
Oh, why not?
I've watched Chris play video games, and I'm like, dude, you're getting shot from this side. Look over here. Look left. It's sometimes frustrating to watch Chris play a game.
Is it?
Like, yeah, and it's like I'm like, and BC has the game. He is practicing. I don't think Chris has it. I'm not sure if Chris does fighter games, so I'm thinking that BC may take this one.
Okay.
This may be an easy match for BC.
All right. Well, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. This tournament is shaping up to be quite an event. And you're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be next Thursday, your regular SCNS time. You will probably see some live video happening beforehand of people practicing and preparing. And so you're not going to want to miss that. So, yes, the SCNS Injustice 2 tournament powered by Cinelinx.com and the brand new Cinelinx app. It's like Domino's, but for movies. I don't think that's the actual tag, but I haven't been given an actual tagline, so I'm making my own up.
All right, there you go.
So, yes, download the Cinelinx app right now. And you can download it on Google Play, or you can download it on the iTunes app, or the iTunes. So
iTunes Store,
iStore, Apple Store, it's Apple Store, right?
Whichever.
I believe it's the. I
don't use it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. All right. Anywho, so speaking of esports, because the tournament is an esports event, that's what we're calling it. I wouldn't call it MLG, even though we all qualified by just being members and friends of SCNS and Cinelinx. Esports is a big thing that's happening right now. And this past weekend was a tournament to find out who was the greatest Madden NFL 17 champion. I said that wrong. To find out who was the greatest Madden player of Madden NFL 17. So it was the EA Sports Madden NFL 17 Championship. And it was amazing to watch. It was really fun. All the matchups, you had the greats coming in and playing and winning. And if you're a Madden player or maybe you're a new Madden player, or even if you're an old one, watch this tournament. And you will learn so much about the nuances of the game and how to make yourself better. So, I play almost every day. I play Madden almost every day. And I was still learning things. And we just started a new league called From the Ground Up. That's what we called it. And it's all the teams that were just bad. And I'm the Chicago Bears. After watching this tournament, I scored 63 points against one of the computers. It's really cool to watch. So definitely go watch it. But the championship was won by a man who has been pretty consistent over his career, but has never won a championship, and it was Skimbo. And here's my problem. I like Skimbo. I like that he faced off against Problem. Problem did a great job. Problem is a legend. Not going to discount him in any way. My problem, though, was from the announcers. And I get it. Your job is to just really sell what you're watching and keep the people gripped. And I'm going to be doing that next week with the Injustice 2 tournament. So I will probably be, just
talking a lot of smack.
I'll be talking things up. But my problem was...
Can I be the other guy in like a dodgeball? It's like, That's gonna hurt, Cotton.
It's either going to be you or it's going to be Rob or BC. So you
BC be better.
yeah. So one of you will be my color commentators. But my problem with the commentators was that they kept saying Problem was a legend, and there's no problem with that. But the problem I had with it was they kept calling Skimbo's offense prolific. I'm watching his match or his game, and he's doing the same 2 plays over and over and over and over. There was one drive where he ran a go route 4 times. And none of them connected. And they were like, oh my God, Problem's amazing. No, Skimbo's just not doing anything else. It's pretty easy to figure out that the guy's running a go route. He's putting the same guy in motion every single time. I could call this easy. It's easy to watch. And then he gets to the goal line, and he does a motion play with Randy Moss where he makes Randy Moss go to the right, and then he snaps the ball, and it's just a vertical. That's all it is, a vertical or a fade route, if you want to call it that, because you're in the red zone. He does this play 4 times in a row, and not one of them works. The only reason Skimbo won was because of vertical shots. That's it. He would bomb the ball 60 yards down the field and score a touchdown. That's all he did. That's not prolific. That's just doing the same thing over and over again.
That's insanity.
It's insanity. But, yeah, and I guess it is because expecting a different result. So the Madden Championship went on. Congratulations to Skimbo. But it kind of motivated me because I was watching it and I kept thinking to myself, I could beat these scrubs. I could totally beat these guys. I play it all the time. And that's not an ego. It's not arrogance. That's just confidence because I've played it and I'm watching these guys and I can see what their moves are.
No, I know. When I log into PS4 and I see who's on, Madden.
Yeah.
Or Tyler or...
Yeah.
The other
Tyler,
guys,
Kevin, all of them, yeah.
Just Madden. So
yeah.
I'm like, hey, why don't y'all get a team together? And
I would love to, but I texted another buddy of mine, a guy who has actually participated in tournaments and everything. And I texted him, I said, hey, have you ever watched a Madden tournament and thought to yourself, man, I could beat all these guys? He said, yeah, all the time. But the problem is, every time you get into that field and you start fighting in ranked matches, you start participating, you get up to a certain level. It's so hard to maintain that level, and you have to play every day, and all you do is play Madden. And that's how you get up to that level. And that's the problem, because I have a personal life. I have a day job. So I would like to attempt it with Madden NFL 18, but I'll be honest, it'll probably be a point where it's like, you're 200, even though I'm like, I know I'm better than like some of these guys. And it's just, I won't have time. So we'll see.
You would have to stop doing
everything.
This recording, SNS, whatever.
But the thing is, if you do it and you're successful, you win a lot of money. Like, I believe Skimbo, if I'm not mistaken, won anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000 for just winning this whole championship. Mm-hmm. And they were going over his winnings from doing every other tournament and all the other players' winnings, and they were just short of $200,000. Which is ridiculous, because that's an amount of money that I wouldn't see in a normal year with my day job.
Exactly. I was about to say, that's some people's salaries for years.
Yes.
Years.
Yeah. So, if you can get started and you can really get going with it, it's so worth it. Because if you're good, you'll get paid. Mm-hmm. But if you're not, then you're not going to have a wife soon or a husband because they're going to leave you.
Yeah.
Because they can't support you that long.
But then you can make YouTube videos and probably get some views and make some money that way.
There you go. Right. That's it. That's the loophole right there.
Sponsorships. Sports,
Madden. Well, this month, we salute those that stand up for others, whether they are protecting the galaxy, the world, or just the neighborhood. All hail the Guardians! With items from Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars, Destiny, and the Goonies, Loot Crate is a monthly subscription box service which provides boxes of geek and gaming related merchandise. And as always, it includes its monthly t-shirt and pin. So yes, the Loot Crate subscription box for the month of May is Guardians related. So guys, keep an eye out for that. You can use our Loot Crate code, lootcrate.com/SCNS live, or you can just go and purchase your first subscription box. Type in our code SCNS live and you will earn a 15% discount on your first box for Loot Crate. All right. Finally, our last thing that we're going to hit on for Nerd Interference this week brings us to the NFL. And we're just going to go over a couple of news stories for the NFL. And the first off is LeGarrette Blount has signed with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I know a lot of people were saying, oh my God, really? Why?
I did.
Yeah, you did. You did. But this is going to be money for not only fantasy owners, but for the Philadelphia Eagles themselves. And that's because this guy scored, I believe, 18 touchdowns last season for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, when I said, really, LeGarrette Blount for a year with that much? That's too much money for this guy. And I went and looked at his stats for last year, and I was like, oh, that's too little money for him.
He even said, look, I'll sign. Just pay me, New England. He wanted to stay in New England, and New England thought to themselves, nah, we can just go with all these other like scat backs, receiving backs, which is fine because New England, they make everything better.
Yeah, they
so
make anything work.
Yeah, so LeGarrette Blount goes to Philadelphia, and I tweeted this out on NI Sportscast. Draft him. In fantasy football, draft LeGarrette Blount. He won't be your every down back. I'm not saying that. You might have Ryan Matthews or just maybe Carson Wentz throwing the ball down as close to the end zone as possible, and then it's just going to be that Mack truck and LeGarrette Blount driving everybody back and getting into the end zone.
When you get into that red zone, that's when he comes into play.
Exactly. Another signing happened, and it's a backup quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ryan Fitzpatrick got signed to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, that's not necessarily newsworthy. The more newsworthy approach to this, or the angle, is that Colin Kaepernick is still a free agent. And statistically, Colin Kaepernick had a much better season than Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Don't nobody want him? He's a troublemaker.
He just didn't stand for the national anthem. What makes him a troublemaker?
He's still a troublemaker.
That is not a troublemaker.
He caused ripples throughout the entire NFL.
So? He stood up for what he believed, or he really kneeled down for what he believed.
You don't want a toxic player like that on your team.
But he's already come out.
The other children.
But he's already come out and said, I will stand for the national anthem this year.
Damn it. Giving up on your principles.
No, giving up for your principles wasn't even voting, because that's what he did. He didn't even vote.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So Colin Kaepernick is still a free agent, despite the fact that he played better than Ryan Fitzpatrick last year. And I know there's been a big controversy for a lot of people. They've been very upset, and they've been clamoring for Cap to get a shot. My thing is, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he wouldn't have fit. I don't think he would have been right for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Instead, you have Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's going to be quiet. He's going to shut his mouth. He's going to be there for Jameis and probably never play a snap, because Jameis is Jameis. He'll be there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I think Colin Kaepernick ends up in Seattle. It's the most logical place for him. They don't have a backup because Boykin, their guy that they drafted last year from TCU, has been in so much trouble with the police, getting arrested, all this, that it's come to the point where they'll probably just cut him sooner rather than later.
Okay.
So,
yeah, but Kaepernick is not a backup quarterback. He's a...
Exactly. He's not a backup quarterback. So now you can get a guy on the cheap who's just trying to recreate his career. And if Russell Wilson goes down, which Russell Wilson barely ever goes down, then you've got a starter quality guy behind Russell Wilson who can come in and take over in case Russell goes down.
All right.
Seattle players want him there too.
Really?
They do. A lot of guys have come out and said, look, we want you here. Just be a little quiet, like don't, rouse up a whole bunch of like protesting or anything like that.
Be like Marshawn. Shut the hell up.
Exactly.
Get fined for not speaking.
Here's my problem. If EJ Manuel can get a backup job with the Oakland or LA or Las Vegas Raiders, Colin Kaepernick can get a job with the Seattle Seahawks or anywhere for that matter.
Yeah, he should be able to get a job.
He should be able to. And also, just advice to RG3. I heard recently that CFL team currently has your rights. Go there, buddy. Nobody's going to be calling. Go to the CFL. Call up Johnny. Say, hey, Johnny Manziel, let's go up to the CFL and let's go rock it.
He's off the Browns?
Yeah, they cut him. As soon as the Browns traded for Brock Osweiler, they cut RG3.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So RG3, go to Canada, buddy. Take Manziel with you. Now, the other two pieces of news, the last two that we have for the day are Calais Campbell, the brand new defensive end for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who signed a 4-year, $60 million deal at 30 years old to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yep, 30 years old.
What?
Has recently come out and said that he believes the Jaguars have it all. That includes Blake Bortles. Yeah, yes, the Blake Bortles. The guy who is an interception machine. And Doug Marrone is trying to sell him right now and say, oh, his throwing motion has gotten so much better. Yeah, let me see some pressure on him and then tell me how much better he's gotten. Please. Oh, and on top of that, let me just stay in the AFC South. Jonathan Hankins comes out and says, brand new defensive tackle for the Indianapolis Colts. He comes out and says, I think we have the best defense in the AFC. What makes you think that? Okay, you can maybe sell me that the Jaguars have a really good defense. Okay, fine. You can sell me that the Titans have a better defense. Fine. Okay, whatever. Nobody is supplanting the Houston Texans, the number one defense last year, anytime soon. Sure, they lost a few pieces, but they also gained them back in the draft. And you're going to tell me that a defensive unit in the Colts that were pretty darn atrocious last year now has the best defense in the AFC? Oh, okay. No, you're right. Because the Chiefs aren't good. Patriots aren't great. Like, I'm sorry. Name a team that had a top 10 defense last year, and I'll tell them that they are better than the Colts.
Look, no one's going to come out and say they got a shitty defense.
I know.
They're not going to question. They're just going to say, hey, we've got some good guys. We're going to be great this year. Blah, the regular spiel that they give people.
Yes.
So, whatever.
The thing is, it's the offseason, and everything in the offseason is amazing because everyone's undefeated. Mm-hmm. So they're going to go into rookie mini camp. They're going to go into different little meetings. They're going to have mandatory trainings. They're going to have whatever in the weight rooms, and they're going to bond with their buddies, and they're going to think to themselves, my God, we got this, guys. We can do this. And then they're going to put it on the field, and none of it's going to make sense. But what is not all candies, rainbows, and everything is our top story for the NFL. And that is that the LA Rams and the LA Chargers are going to be homeless for one more year. They had said that their deadline for this brand new stadium, this state-of-the-art, beautiful thing that's going to be coming out, and it will be coming out in 2019. Mm-hmm. But because there has been record rainfall in LA, it has delayed them to 2020. Now, that's not a big deal. That's fine, whatever. You can go play in your soccer stadium. You can go play at the brand new United Airlines Coliseum where the Rams will be playing. But the bigger deal comes from the LA is supposed to host the Super Bowl in 2020. NFL has already said it. They want the LA Rams, LA Chargers to host the Super Bowl in 2020 in their brand new stadium. But according to NFL rules, You cannot host an NFL or the Super Bowl on the first year that the NFL stadium has been open.
Really?
Yes, because they want to break out all the kinks. They want to knock it all out because they want to have a show that is just no mess ups at all. Right? Just everything is great.
Yeah, hence why Cowboy Stadium was used the second
Exactly.
year it was open. Okay.
Exactly. And that's why Minnesota, they just opened up theirs, and they're going to be hosting the Super Bowl this year. They had it open last year. They're opening up this year because they wanted to work out all the kinks. But the NFL has recently come out and said, well, they can issue out a waiver that will still allow them to host it.
We're going to put this stadium on the waiver wire right now.
Different waiver. But the waiver means nothing. The waiver only says that the NFL can do whatever they want, which they can. There's nothing saying that they can't. But the rule that they have to be open for a year, it can be waived. It can be waived for this situation. You know, like, they've been thinking about it, guys. They're already got a plan. Let them have it. LA needs money. We can make so much money from LA. Just give a waiver.
They've been talking about LA and a football team for so long. They talked about it on Entourage.
Yes, they did. Yeah. And now they have 2. Crazy, right?
Okay.
Crazy.
All right.
So, we don't know what's going to happen. I'm assuming that eventually the NFL, they will put in their waiver and the NFL will be like, yeah, sure, no, you can have the Super Bowl. It's fine. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. Rob, thank you for supplying the area and supplying the producing aficionado that you always bring.
Right.
And thank you guys. Tell us what you think about anything that we talked about, whether it's esports, whether it's our Injustice 2 tournament happening next Thursday on SCNS Live, or if it's just anything that we brought up today during Nerd Interference, or maybe you've just got your own hot take that you want to share with us. Tweet us at NI Sportscast, or you can tweet us individually at Move the Joystick for myself, or at Real Jackass BC for our vacation having partner, or you can also tweet at Entropy1 and he will bring this up in 2 weeks when Nerd Interference is back. Guys, thank you so much. Join us next Thursday for the SCNS Injustice 2 tournament, powered by Cinelinx.com and the Cinelinx app. We will catch you in 2 weeks. See you.
This has been Nerd Interference, powered by Cinelinx.com, your one-stop for your news, reviews, editorials, and more. Keep it on Cinelinx. Also brought to you by SCNS Live, every Thursday night on YouTube.com/SCNS Live, as well as the Offshoots Network on iTunes. Special thanks to our producers, Rob Entropy and Jason the X. Nerd Interference, interfering with everything you thought you knew about nerds. We'll see you next time.